Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavatasya Svira Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 63, Lord Krishna fights with Banasur. So yesterday we studied how Krishna, Balram and the whole Yadu army, they went to fight with Banasur to liberate Anirudh, who was captured by Banasur, and how Krishna and Shivji fought, and Krishna basically used his yawn weapon and put Shivji into yawning. And Kartikeya was defeated by Aniruddha, and so many, not Pradyumna. Pradyumna defeated Kartikeya, and so many things happened. And then Shiva Jwar was released by Shivji, and Shiv Jwar was defeated by Narayan Jwar. And then Shiv Jwar just took shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, and Krishna gave him all the shelter. And he said, whoever remembers our conversation here have no reason to fear you. So further, text 30 onwards. Iti yukto achyutamanamya gato maheshwaro jvaraha banastu ratham arudaha pragadyotsayan janardanam. Thus addressed the Maheshwar Jwar, bowed down to the infallible Lord and went away. But Banasur then appeared, riding forth on his chariot to fight with Lord Krishna. Tato bahu sahasrena nana yudh dharvasura momoch param krutho banas chakra yudhin nripa. Carrying numerous weapons in his 1,000 hands, O king, the terrible infuriated demon shot many arrows at Lord Krishna, the carrier of the disc weapon. Tasyastostranya sakrich chakrenakshur nemina chichid bhagwan bahun shakha evanaspate. As Bana continued hurling weapons at him, the Supreme Lord began using his razor-sharp chakra to cut off Banasur's arms as if they were tree branches. Bahushu chiddyamaneshu Banasya Bhagavan Bhava Bhaktan Akampya Upavrajya Chakra Yudham Abhashata. Lord Shiva felt compassion for his devotee Banasur, whose arms were being cut off, and thus he approached Lord Chakrayudha, Krishna, and spoke to him as follows. Shri Rudruvacha, Tvam hi Brahma Param Jyotir, Gunam Brahmani Vangmaye, Yam Pashyanti Amalat Ana, Akashim Kevalam. Shri Rudra said, you alone are the absolute truth, the supreme light, the mystery hidden within the verbal manifestation of the absolute. Those whose hearts are spotless can see you, for you are uncontaminated like the sky. So this is, Lord Shiva is praying to the Lord, it's glorifying the Lord. So we should understand who is the real Supreme Lord. Of course, Lord Shiva, Param Vaishnava, so he's in no way less than, but he's not the Supreme Lord. That thing we have to understand. Since the Lord is pure, why do some people perceive Krishna's form and activities as impure? Srila Jiva Goswami explains that those whose own hearts are impure cannot understand the pure Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further quotes the Lord's own instructions to Arjuna in Sri Harivansha. Superior to that total material nature is a supreme Brahman from which this entire creation expands, so descendant of Bharat. You should know that the supreme Brahman consists of my concentrated effulgence. So this Brahmjyoti is his effulgence only. Thus, to save his devotee, Lord Shiva now glorifies the Supreme Lord Krishna, his eternal worshipable master. The Lord's bewildering potency induced Shiva to fight with Lord Krishna, but now the fight is over. And to save his devotee, Lord Shiva offers these beautiful prayers. Nabhir nabho agnir mukhamburetu dyo shirsha masha shrutirang angri rurvi chandro mano yasya drigarka atma aham samudro jataram bhujendraha romani yasyo shuddhayo ambuvaha kesha virincho dhishna visargaha prajapatir hridayam yasya dharma savai bhavan purusho loka kalpaha. The sky is your navel, fire your face, water your semen, and heaven your head. The cardinal directions are your sense of hearing, herbal plants, the hairs on your body, and water-bearing clouds, the hair on your head. The earth is your foot, the moon your mind, and the sun your vision, while I am your ego. The ocean is your abdomen, Indra your arm, Lord Brahma your intelligence, the progenitor of mankind your genitals, and religion your heart. You're indeed the original Purusha, the creator of the worlds. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that just as the tiny bugs living inside a fruit cannot comprehend the fruit, so we tiny living beings cannot understand the supreme absolute truth in whom we exist. It's difficult to understand the cosmic creation of the Lord, what to speak of his transcendental form as Sri Krishna. Therefore, we should surrender in Krishna consciousness, and the Lord himself will help us understand. So he will give us a mercy by which we can understand him. But look at Lord Shiva, how he is glorifying Krishna. Tavavataro ayam akuntha dhaman dharmasya guptya jagato hitaya vayam cha sarve bhavatanubhavita vibhavayamo bhuvanani sapta. Your current descent into the material realm, O Lord of unrestricted power, is meant for upholding the principles of justice and benefiting the entire universe. We demigods, each depending on your grace and authority, develop the 7 planetary systems. As Lord Shiva glorifies Lord Krishna, doubt may arise, since apparently Lord Krishna is standing before Lord Shiva as a historical personality with a human-like body. However, it is out of Lord's causeless mercy that he appears to us in a form visible to our mundane eyes. If we want to understand the absolute truth, Shri Krishna, we must hear from recognized authorities in Krishna consciousness, such as Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, or from Lord Shiva, a recognized Vaishnava authority, who here glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Shiva, he's a very pure, very advanced, very exalted person. So he knows the glories of the Lord. We don't know anything about the glories of the Lord. So he further says, Tvamekadya Purusho Dvitiyas Surya Swadrig Dhetur Hetur Ishaha Pratiyase Yathapi Yatha Vikaram Swamayaya Sarvagun Prasiddhaye. You're the original person, one without a second, transcendental and self-manifesting. Uncaused, you're the cause of all, and you're the ultimate controller. You're nonetheless perceived in terms of the transformations of matter affected by your illusory energy transformations. You sanction so that various material qualities can become fully manifest. So ultimately, he is a cause of everything. The Acharya's comments as follows on this verse. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that the term Adya Purusha, the original Purusha, indicates the Lord Krishna expands himself as Mahavishnu, the first of the 3 Purushas who take charge of cosmic manifestation. The Lord is Ek Advitiya, one without a second, because there is no one equal to the Lord or different from him. No one is completely equal to the Supreme Godhead. And yet, because all the living beings are expansions of the potency of the Godhead, no one is qualitatively different from him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nicely explains this inconceivable situation by stating that the absolute truth and the living beings are qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. So this is Mahaprabhu's Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva philosophy. Lord Krishna is Swadrik, that is, he alone can perceive himself perfectly because he is infinite spiritual existence, infinitely pure. He is Hetu, the cause of everything, yet he is a Hetu without any cause. Therefore, he is Isha, the supreme controller. But why is the Lord perceived differently by different persons? Although he is one, a partial explanation is given here. By the agency of Maya, the Lord's external potency, material nature, is in a constant state of transformation, vikara. In one sense, then material nature is unreal, asat, because God is a supreme reality and because he is present within all things. And all things are his potency, material objects and energies possess a degree of reality. Therefore, some people see one aspect of material souls and material energy and think this is reality, while other people see a different aspect of material energy and think, no, that is reality. But that's why it's called relative world. Everything is relative here. Everybody sees things relatively according to their own consciousness, regarding their own viewpoint. So from everybody's viewpoint, everybody is correct. But what is the supreme truth? That's what we have to understand. Yatheva Surya Pihitas Chayaya Swaya Chayam Charupani Chasan Chakasti Evam Gunena Pihito Gunastam Atma Pradipo Guninascha Bhuman. Almighty One, just as the sun, though hidden by a cloud, illuminates a cloud and all of the visible forms as well. So you, although hidden by the material qualities, remain self-luminous and thus reveal all those qualities along with the living entities who possess. Here Lord Shiva further clarifies the idea expressed in the final two lines of the previous verse. The analogy of the clouds and the sun is appropriate. With its energy, the sun creates clouds which cover our vision of the sun. Yet it's the sun that allows us to see the clouds and all other things as well. Similarly, the Lord expands his illusory potency and thus prevents us from directly seeing him. Yet it is God alone who reveals to us his covering potency. So everything actually comes from the Lord. Now it depends upon our desire and to what extent we deserve to see what we want to see. Yan maya mohita dhiya putradara grihadishu unmajjanti nimajjanti prasakta vraji naranave. Their intelligence bewildered by your maya, fully attached to children, wife, home, and so on. Persons immersed in the ocean of material misery sometimes rise to the surface and sometimes sink down. Srila Siddha Swami explains that rising in the ocean of misery indicates elevation to higher species, such as demigods, and that being submerged refers to degradation to lower species, even to immobile forms of life, such as trees. So sometimes we go up, sometimes down, sometimes we stay at one place. This is life is all about here in the material world. Deva Dattam imam labdvan rilokam ajitendriya yo nadriye tatpatpado sa shocho hi atma vanchakaha. One who has attained this human form of life has a gift from God, yet he who fails to control his senses and honor your feet is surely to be pitied, for he is only cheating himself. Lord Shiva here condemns those who refuse to engage in the devotion service of the Supreme Lord. Yasvam visrajate martya atmanam priyamishwaram viparyerendriyarthartam visham atti amritam tyajan. That mortal who rejects you, his true self, dearmost friend and Lord, for the sake of sense objects, whose nature is just the opposite, refuses nectar and instead consumes poison. The person described above is pitiable because they don't involve themselves in the devotional service, because he rejects that which is actually dear, the Lord, and accepts that which is not dear and is ungodly. Temporary sense gratification, which leads to suffering and bewilderment. Aham brahmatha vibudha munyaschamalashaya sarvatmana prapannastvam atmanam preshtamishwaram. I, Lord Brahma, the other demigods, and the pure-minded sages have all surrendered wholeheartedly unto you, O our dearmost Lord, self and Lord. Svatvam jagatastiti udayanta hetum samam prashantam suhridatma devam ananyamekam jagadatmaketam bhavapavargaya bhajam devam. Let us worship you, the Supreme Lord, to be free from material life. You are the maintainer of the universe and the cause of its creation and demise. Equipoised and perfectly at peace, you are the true friend, self, and worshipable Lord. You are one without second, the shelter of all the worlds and all souls. Srila Sridhar Swami states that the Lord is a true friend because he sets one's proper intelligence into motion if one desires to know the truth about God and the soul. Srila Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur both emphasize that the word Bhavapavargaya indicates the highest liberation of pure love of Godhead, characterized by unalloyed devotion service unto the Lord. So you are one without second, the shelter of all the worlds and all souls. This is what Lord Shiva is praying. I am Mameshto Daito Anuvarti Maya Bhayam Dattam Amushya Deva Sampadyatam Tad Bhavata Prasado Yatha Hite Datyapato Prasadaha. This Banasur is my dear and faithful follower, and I have awarded him freedom from fear. Therefore, my Lord, please grant him your mercy, just as you showed mercy to Prahlad, the Lord of the demons. Lord Shiva inclined to help Banasur because the demon showed great devotion to Lord Shiva when he provided musical accompaniment for Shiva's Pandav dance. Another reason Bana is an object of Lord Shiva's favor is that he is a descendant of great devotees, Prahlad and Bali. And this is what Shivji is trying to invoke in Krishna's heart. He is grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, or great-grandson of Prahlad Maharaj and his son of Bali Maharaj. So please forgive him. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yadatha Bhagwan Swamna Karvam Priyam Tava Bhavato Yadvaya Visitam Tanme Sadva Anumoditam. The Supreme Lord said, my dear Lord, for your pleasure, we must certainly do what you have requested of us. I fully agree with your conclusion. We should not think it is strange that the Supreme Lord Krishna here addresses Lord Shiva as Bhagavan, Lord. All living beings are part and parcel of the Lord, qualitatively one with him. And Lord Shiva is an especially powerful, pure entity who possesses many of the Supreme Lord's qualities. Just as a father is happy to share his riches with the beloved sons of the Supreme Lord, happily invests pure living beings with some of his potency and opulence. Just as a father proudly and happily observes the good qualities of his children, Lord is most happy to glorify the pure living beings who are pure, powerful in Krishna consciousness. So thus Krishna addressed Lord Shiva as Bhagavan. Avadhyo ayam mamapyesha varo chani suto asura praladaya varo tatto na badhyo me tavanvaya. I will not kill this demonic son of Verochani, for I gave Prahlad Maharaj the benediction that I would not kill any of his descendants. So this benediction Lord gave to Prahlad Maharaj, I'll not kill any of your descendants. Darpopashamanayasya pravrikranam bahavo maya suditam cha balam puri yacha bhara yitam bhuva. It was to subdue Banasur's false pride that I severed his arms, and I slew his mighty army because it had become a burden upon the earth. And Krishna had appeared to reduce the burden of the earth. Chatvaro asya bhuja shishta bhavishyatyaja ramaraha parshad mukhyo bhavato na kutaschid bhayo asuraha. This demon who still has 4 arms will be immune to old age and death, and he will serve as one of your principal attendants. Thus he will have nothing to fear on my account. Iti labdhva bhayam krishnam pranamya shirasa suraha pradyumnim rathamaropya savadho samapaniyat. Thus attaining freedom from fear, Banasura offered obeisances to Lord Krishna by touching his head to the ground. Bana then seated Aniruddha and his bride on the chariot and brought them before the Lord. So this is demons. They want to fight with the Lord. First they want to fight, and when either they get killed or they get defeated. Here in this case, he was spared by the Lord because Lord Shiva interfered. And then now see, he touched his head to the ground, paying obeisances, and brought Aniruddha and his bride Usha to the chariot and brought them before the Lord. Aksho hinya parivratam suvasa samalankritam sapatnikam puraskritya yayo rudran anumoditaha. At the front of the party, Lord Krishna then placed Aniruddha and his bride, both beautifully adorned with fine clothes and ornaments, and surrounded them with the full military division. Then Lord Krishna took his leave of Lord Shiva and departed. Swarajadhanim savaling kritam dhvaja satoraner ukshit marga chatvaram vivesha shankhan anakadundubhisvaner abhi udyatah paur suhrid dvijatibhi. The Lord then entered his capital. The city was lavishly decorated with flags and victory arches, and its avenues and crossways were all sprinkled with water. As conch shells, anaks, and dundubi drums resounded, the Lord's relatives, the Brahmins, and the general populace all came forward to greet him respectfully. Ya evam Krishna Vijayam Shankarena cha samyugam sansmret pratra uthaya na tasya syata parajaya. So, Shrutifal of hearing this pastime, whoever rises early in the morning and remembers Lord Krishna's victory in his battle with Lord Shiva will never experience defeat. Can you believe it? So all we have to do, rise early in the morning, it's morning for you all, and remembers Lord Shiva's victory in the battle with Lord Shiva. And that's it. You'll never experience defeat. And thus ends the purports to 10th canto, 63rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Krishna Fights with Banasur. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what we can analyze is that Lord Shiva, affection of Lord Shiva towards Vishnu Ji, Narayan, and Sri Krishna was enormous. because we have given so many examples in Ramayana also. When we read Ramcharitmanas, he himself tells everything to Mata Bhavani, Mata Parvati about the entire story of Ramayana. Then also in Dwapar Yuga, he urged Krishna to appear. He like when Krishna was a little baby, he went there and asked Mata Yashoda to show that little baby Krishna. So his affection, I think, is enormous, and nobody can compare him in his bhakti towards Lord Krishna. And I think that's the reason Lord Hari also likes him so much. Uh, he created a Rameshwaram also in the south because I think he also, Lord Krishna also thinks that he is the greatest of all. Uh, Bhakt. Agree, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Lord Shiva is a Param Vaishnava, and that's why he's very dear to Krishna, Ram, both. So in Ram Leela, he takes part differently, in Krishna Leela and differently. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. But he's very dear to Lord. So many
Thank you.
pastimes Lord Shiva has in Bhagavatam mentioned. So many places he comes mentioned.
Yeah.
ठीक है?
Yes.
चलो, okay, so let's stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.